vast crowd gathered on the Galilean plain. Jesus observed the multitude from a distance. He began to ascend a nearby mountainside. His disciples followed closely behind him. He found a quiet, elevated spot. He sat down, facing the expectant crowd. His disciples gathered around him, listening intently. A hush fell over the assembled people. Jesus began to speak, his voice clear and calm. He spoke of profound wisdom, the Beatitudes. His words unveiled eternal truths. He declared, "Blessed are the poor in spirit," a promise, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. The crowd murmured softly, absorbing his words. He continued, "Blessed are those who mourn. Comfort would surely be theirs." His gaze swept across the faces before him. He spoke of the meek, gentle souls. They would inherit the very earth itself. A woman wiped a tear from her eye. Jesus' voice resonated with authority and love. He blessed those who hungered for righteousness. They would be completely filled, satisfied. His teachings challenged worldly expectations. He spoke of divine favor, not earthly gain. He declared, "Blessed are the merciful. They would surely obtain mercy themselves." A man nodded slowly, understanding dawning. He blessed the pure in heart. They would see God face to face. The sun cast long shadows across the mountain. He blessed the peacemakers among them. They would be called children of God. Each blessing offered a unique reward, an eternal reward beyond comprehension. His words painted a picture of true happiness, a happiness found in God's will, not in power or material wealth. He laid foundational principles for life, a life lived in accordance with divine law, challenging conventional notions of success. His sermon continued, captivating all present. The disciples exchanged knowing glances. This was a new way, a profound truth. The wind carried his voice across the hillside. He offered hope to the downtrodden. He offered purpose to the searching soul. The Beatitudes, a blueprint for blessed living. Then he spoke of those persecuted for righteousness, their reward, the kingdom of heaven. He looked directly at his disciples. "Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say evil things, all because of him, for his name's sake." He urged them, "Rejoice and be glad, for their reward in heaven was great." Prophets before them faced similar trials. His voice filled with both warning and promise, a call to steadfast faith amidst adversity. The crowd listened, deeply moved by his words. Jesus continued his sermon, his voice calm yet powerful. He looked out at the expectant faces of his disciples. He spoke of blessings for those facing adversity for their faith. "Blessed are those persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven," he declared. A ripple of understanding passed through the crowd. He then addressed his disciples directly, his gaze firm. "Blessed are you when people insult you," he said. "When they persecute you and falsely say all kinds of evil. Because of me," he added, his eyes piercing. A few disciples exchanged nervous glances. Others nodded, their expressions resolute. "Rejoice and be glad," Jesus urged them, "for great is your reward in heaven." He gestured towards the sky, a silent promise. "For in the same way they persecuted the prophets before you." His words resonated with ancient wisdom. The disciples absorbed his teaching, their hearts stirred. He paused, letting the weight of his words settle. Then, his tone shifted, becoming more direct. "You are the salt of the earth," Jesus proclaimed. His voice carried across the mountainside. The phrase hung in the air, a new revelation. Disciples looked at each other, pondering the meaning. A young man in the front row furrowed his brow. Jesus' eyes swept over the assembly. "But if the salt loses its saltiness," he warned, "how can it be made salty again?" His question hung heavy, demanding reflection. The crowd grew silent, listening intently. "It is no longer good for anything," he stated plainly, "except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot." A shiver ran through some of the listeners. The metaphor was stark, undeniable. He emphasized their vital role in the world, to preserve and flavor with God's truth. Their purpose was clear, their responsibility immense. The sun began to dip lower, casting long shadows. Jesus' figure was silhouetted against the sky. His message was a call to action, a divine mandate. The disciples understood the gravity of their calling. They were to be agents of change, beacons of light. Their faith, their lives, were to season the world. A profound sense of purpose settled upon them. They were not just followers, but essential elements. The sermon continued, shaping their understanding. Jesus' words echoed in the mountain air. A new chapter of their journey had begun. The wind rustled through the olive trees nearby. Disciples exchanged knowing glances, a shared commitment. Each word from Jesus resonated deeply within them. They felt the weight of the world's need and the power of their divine commission. Their hearts burned with newfound resolve. They would carry his message, his light, to every corner of the earth. The setting sun painted the horizon in fiery hues. Jesus rose, his presence commanding. The disciples followed, ready for their mission. The mountain air carried the promise of a new dawn,